perfect. Yeah, you walk that walk, watch the eyes go black. You're so picture perfect.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bravo Tea with the Stay-at-Home Mom. I'm Erica, and I'm ready to just dish all about Kristen and Luke getting engaged. This is her happy ending. I mean, we have seen this woman chain smoke cigarettes, telling the old manager of Sir to go S a D and have a awful public breakup with Tom Sandoval, James Kennedy, then that other guy that was in between. Remember when Jax brought him on last season of The Valley, that rando guy? And then Carter, who could forget that? So Kristen's just been through the ringer, and the fact that her and Luke struggled with the fertility, I'm so happy for them that they just had their baby girl. They just did a whole spread for People magazine. Just wonderful. She's just, maybe it started off rough for her, but she's really, really winning these days, especially because of the shit show that I feel like Michelle and Brittany are going through with their divorces and their men. And they got to still stick around because their main character is on the show. I always just think about that. I'm like, Brittany is just so thankful that Jax is not on this trip in Hawaii, because how awkward is this? It's even a little weirder for Michelle and Jesse because Michelle has a new boyfriend, Aaron, and he's on the trip. But it's just got to be really tough. Like, normal people would be like, all right, well, I got to deal with you because I have a kid. Well, they got to deal with them because they got a kid, and they got to film together. That's really uncomfortable. But you know what it makes me think about? I loved the OC. I know I've said it before on here. Adam Brody and Rachel Bilson dated in real life, like full on Seth Cohen, Summer Roberts. But before the show was done filming, they did break up. That's got to be really strange. But if you guys watch the OC, the last season was such a wash. That was so awful. Like, whenever I get into my rewatch mode, I just don't even watch season 4. So I think that's when they were already broken up. And it kind of shows because it was just an awful season. Marissa was dead. Ryan was started to date Taylor Townsend. That was, it was just didn't Kirsten and Julie have babies? I mean, and Julie went to college, finished, graduated. So weird. It's just can you tell us without telling us you had no ideas left for the show? Let's just get right into it though. So everyone goes to dinner in Hawaii. Jesse orders a skinny margarita. My man, make it spicy, and that's my order. Brittany said that Zuli, the nanny, is staying at her house the whole time while she's gone, and Jax will go over and play with Cruz. Now, that has to be weird for Jax, going back to that house, but he's no longer allowed to live there. And Brittany's being so nice. I hate in the after show that he's ragging on her, or in the confessionals, and he's like, Brittany won't let me see my son. No, as I said before on the previous episode, and probably the one before that, you were too busy getting a haircut and Botox. It's your job to text Brittany and say, I'm home now. I'd like to see Cruz. It's not her job. You're not her problem and job anymore. If my husband and I were divorced, it's not my problem to come to your house and pick up your dirty clothes and put them in the hamper. Jax doesn't get that. He still thinks Brittany is just going to do everything for him because that's what he's used to. She could be a lot worse. Most people would probably be like, you're not even allowed around this child. You were just in a rehab and you threw a chair at me while the child was there. So he should just be thanking his lucky stars that Brittany is even allowing him around Cruz. But this poor woman's probably paying for this nanny the whole time while she's gone too. But it's worth it for Jax not to be there for her. Also, let's see how many times he actually went over. I didn't watch the after show to this episode yet. I have to. So I'd hope it would be a lot. They showed him playing in the pool with Cruz, but it's did you have to get a haircut and Botox before you went over there? It's just and how sad is that Cruz can't just stay with him? I think he doesn't resonate with all that. He's like, oh, this is so nice. I get to spend time with him. It's in reality, you should just be taking care of him at your house, but you're so irresponsible. Like Jesse and Michelle, they share Isabella and she goes to each other houses, but he's so irresponsible. Brittany doesn't even trust him. I would not want that man back in that house though. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, he's probably like rooting through her drawers when she's not there. And I could see like the nanny like calling Brittany, like, Miss Brittany, Jax is going through the whole house and looking through all of your belongings and sniffing your underwear. It's like, no. Go away. Nia tells Kristen that Janet apologized to her. And she's like, it was a little uncomfortable, but at least she did say sorry. And then Kristen's like, where's my apology? And she better get one because this is her engagement trip, unbeknownst to her yet, because it's happening the next day. And unbeknownst to everybody except Nia, Danny, and Zach at this point. Nobody else knows. Jesse wants to stay back solo and talk to Aaron after this dinner. And I can't help but think, I saw this meme somebody posted. I don't remember the account, so I can't shout it out. I'm sorry. And it was one of those like little lemur looking animals that have like the bug eyes. And they were like, Aaron, he does have bug eyes. My husband thinks he takes Adderall. I don't think that. I think he just has like Ramona walking the runway eyes. If you all remember the Real Housewives of New York when she was doing that runway walk in the early seasons with the bug eyes, the crazy eyes. And those are the eyes they use as those glasses on Watch What Happens Live. That's kind of what Aaron looks like. We need to like update the glasses on Watch What Happens Live, and it may be honeycomb Aaron's eyes. So Jesse wants to talk to him about this debacle that happened on Father's Day. So I did see a clip online of the after show about the whole Father's Day thing. So Jesse said on the after show that I guess he had a wedding to go to, and Michelle and Aaron were invited to that wedding too, but they declined to go. Maybe they're not as close. Maybe it's like more like Jesse's friend, but it became Michelle's friend. So out of respect, invited both. But he went to the wedding and it kind of overlapped on Father's Day. But on Father's Day, he was home at noon from said wedding. That was obviously the night before or even Friday. I don't know, but it wasn't on Father's Day, which is a Sunday. And Michelle was kind of acting like, oh, well, Jesse wasn't around, so we were hanging out with Isabella, so we took a picture and then Aaron uploaded it. Nothing malicious. It's just we were spending time with her. I'm not going to look at Aaron and say he's malicious because I don't think he's like mean and wants to do targeted mean things. But you just started dating. This is the first Father's Day that you have a boyfriend, I guess, unless they were together last year. But don't have Aaron post a picture with Isabella on Father's Day. Like maybe a little while from now and when you guys are like engaged or married. Yes, because that's her stepdad. But I got to side with Jesse on this one. That was like a no. But of course, Michelle just thinks Jesse's always wrong and kind of blowing everything out of proportion. I'm like in the middle with them. By no means would I want to be married to Jesse because he seems like a douche. But like I always say to my husband, and he gets so annoyed every episode we watch, he's like, I know you say that every time. I would rather be stuck with him than stuck with Jax. And I certainly would rather be stuck with him sharing a child than Jax. I'm not saying he's not being annoying, but what ex-husband or ex-wife isn't annoying? That's why you're not married to them anymore, because they're annoying and you can't work together. So he's just expressing to Aaron how upset he was. He's like, my friends and my mom were texting me that you posted a picture of my daughter on Father's Day. And when you watch the show, you get confused. Like, well, why isn't Jesse with Isabella on Father's Day? And then when you see the after show, it's like, oh, okay, he was just tied up until 12 in the afternoon. And then he had the whole day to be with her on Father's Day. So like nothing dramatic. But see how they're almost spinning it like Jesse's a loser and he wasn't with his own kid on Father's Day. So like Aaron had to come in and save the day and spend the day with Isabella. And then they happened to upload a picture. And it's just like, I got to side with him on that. So 1 point for Jesse on that. But then he asked the burning question that he just needs answered. And he said, did you have a relationship with Michelle before we were separated? And then, Aaron gets his bug eyes out and then it goes to a commercial, of course. But we don't play. We DVR everything. I watch everything. I prefer to do it 15 minutes past, so I can fast forward or maybe just at the end catch up, but still be in sync with everyone in the world. the other night we were quite late watching it. It was like an hour past time, which I hate being that behind schedule, but we got to fast forward it and find out the answer right away. And he said no. And I didn't think he would say yes by any means. And this is the part that I still consider cheating. I think I'm going to put a poll up and ask you guys if you agree. So I guess it can't really be a poll. It'll be more right in the question box what you consider cheating and stepping over the line. Maybe stepping over the line, not necessarily cheating. But he said they only text twice. That's number one. Why are you texting a married woman and you're a single man? And she has an unstable marriage. Even if it is a stable marriage, still weird. I'm not texting like men that I meet at coffee shops or that are selling honey at Whole Foods. I don't get their phone numbers. They text to meet for coffee, which that's weird. Why are you meeting him for coffee? That's cheating. And number two was that he was selling the honey. I can't. I think those are both crossing the line, in my opinion. I would be floored if my husband is texting a single woman and we're having trouble in our marriage, maybe. And they're like meeting and he's buying honey like on the side. Like, if you like the honey, just look it up on Instagram and find out where to buy it. Not a big deal. Like, I don't think we need to get phone numbers and privately text. So a little more Team Jesse on this one, because Michelle did admit that she kissed somebody. So who knows what happened at this coffee and honey rendezvous? We won't. But I find it inappropriate that a married woman is texting a single man. I do. I want to know the opinion, so I'll put that poll up and we'll get that going. And I want to hear from everybody. And then maybe tell me stories if this has happened to you. I love the interaction between all of us. So let's do that. We'll get the what do you consider cheating and has stuff like this happened to you? So then Nia's spray tan is all over the bed. And haven't we been there, done that? I use Bondi Sands tanning mousse. I just got the ultra dark one. Usually I would got like the medium one, I guess, but I was going to my friend's wedding a couple weeks ago and I got the ultra dark, but you know what? Not complaining, but my bed sheets looked like that afterwards. So I always put it on after the shower. I sleep in it. And then the next morning you wash it off, because unfortunately the sheets got to take one for the team, because you can't walk around all day in it because you look weird and you smell and you're a little like, looking uncomfortable, and you don't want it to come off on your seats in your car. That's way more important. The bed sheets can always be washed. And if you have all white, put some bleach on that, back to normal. Nia didn't even look that tan though. So I'm like, did you like scrub all the spray tan off? But been there, done that, girl. Today is the day though for the proposal. So the night before, Luke was like a little edgy, as we saw. He kind of like left the pool, but his grandma's sick. But I'm like, Luke, don't get too like spazzy, because then Kristen's going to be like, what's wrong? And then you're going to have a nervous breakdown. You're going to tell her. So keep it locked up. So then they show a flashback though. He was snorting wasabi for $20 at the table. Then he had a meltdown. That's what we saw in like the whole trailer for the season. He's like, I just want you to be there for me, Kristen. And then he walked around his, like the hotel in his underwear. That ledge that Brittany has been posting all week. She's like, oh, bad hotel to stay if you're scared of heights. So as soon as you come out of your hotel door, you have that like sweet view. And they're really high up, so it's a little scary. So he's taking a lap in the undies and having a meltdown, and it's probably because his insides are torn up from snorting that wasabi. He has no lining in his nose. He's going to have to get a nose job like Jax did, because he had a deviated septum, which now when we all think about it, it's because you were snorting too much cocaine up that nostril. Zach has t-shirts with Luke and Kristen's face on them that he stowed away in the luggage. It's giving like Jersey Shore airbrush boardwalk vibes, which I love that. They're going to wear it after they come home. So they're going to go on a boat with Nia and Danny, and they're acting like they're fishing. And then everyone's going to come back to the hotel. They're going to have these t-shirts on. And Zach's like, Kristen's going to get off the boat, see Janet wearing this t-shirt with Kristen's face on it, and she's going to have a meltdown. But then Kristen comes in the room. He hurries up, covers up the suitcase, and they got to pack up this whole room and switch rooms while they're out on the boat because the hotel gave Benji, Zach, and Jesse the presidential suite. I feel like they should have right then and there switched. I don't think that would have been like a light bulb in Kristen's brain and been like, oh, Luke's going to propose to me. That's why Zach's giving us the room. He should have been like, I know you're having a tough time with your grandma and the like pregnancy struggle. And I really want you guys to like relax and enjoy yourself and take this room. Instead, these people unpacked like they're living here for a month, by the way. And he's got to pack up the whole room and then their room. And then he's like, oh my God, Luke and Kristen like unpacked everything in every drawer. Like, why did Luke do this? He knew we were changing rooms. He's like, oh, straight men, I can't. But then Luke and Kristen are talking about going out on the boat. And then she's like, I'm not even going to shower. And then Luke and Zach's face are like, ew, you can't look like gross when you're getting engaged. So Luke's like, no, we're actually not going to have time before the luau tonight. So like, you should take a shower. And she's like, yeah, but then I'm going to smell like fish. He's like, no, it's like really not that type of boat ride. Like, is this not what always happens when you have a surprise plan for someone and they're giving you a tough time? So quick story. In February, I had a big surprise party for my husband. I did it. Shout out to Giuseppe and Sons in Philly. Amazing Italian restaurant. Such a cool, like dark romantic Italian vibe, but like modern. I don't know. Well, look it up on Instagram. The food is amazing, but the vibe is amazing. So I got all these pictures printed out, frames all over the table because I had my mom and sister-in-law go like a little bit ahead of us because I had a car pick us up, and my best friend came up from Florida. And my whole ploy to get him there was like, oh, we're just going to like get dressed up and do like a fancy dinner while Jeannie's here. But all the meanwhile, I'm like, okay, this is the outfit he has to wear. He's like, I'm not going to wear dress pants because the other couple we were meeting up there, my friends, shout out Pat and Brianna. He's like, Pat won't have dress pants on. I'm going to wear jeans. And I was like, no, Pat's having dress pants on, like put dress pants on. Like, so then I had to take my friend in my closet and I was like, he needs to put these damn dress pants on because this is his surprise birthday party. And if he comes and he's not dressed up like everyone else is, he's going to feel like an idiot. I mean, and she's like, well, what do we do? And I was like, just go out there and you tell him he has to put pants on. So he had like 2 wives for the night, honestly. Probably, you don't want to get in a fight with this person, but you got to keep pushing through because when we got there, I was like, see why I wanted you to put the dress pants on? Aren't you glad? And you look handsome. So I feel you, Luke, on that. Like, he's like, no, Kristen, we don't want you to have like yesterday's BO and stinky and wear like a gym outfit. Like, this is our proposal. But then they get on the ship. Well, boat, not ship. Jesse, Jason, and Aaron have some shaved ice. And then they're just like bro bonding. Jesse talked about like right before their wedding, I guess, he had a concussion from hockey. I don't know. They were like broken up and then they got back together. Like I said, I didn't watch the after show. So when I watch the after show, I'll probably elaborate a little more on that story. But I never knew they even like broke up. But that was before they were married. So that was weird. And then Aaron was like, oh, is that why you guys got back together because you had a concussion? Like, Aaron's getting the little quick jabs in a little bit. Then they FaceTime Jax. And that's when he's swimming with Cruz. And no one misses you on this trip. They say they do, but like they probably don't because you're just annoying. Everyone wants to relax on this trip. Like at least Jesse is kumbayaing with Aaron for the sake of just having fun. And honestly, the problem isn't Aaron, it's Michelle. Like Jesse doesn't like Michelle and doesn't get along with Michelle. In another life, he probably would just kick it with Aaron and be friends or the friend group. Like if he was around, he'd be like, oh yeah, you can invite Aaron over. That's fine. But Aaron's always going to be on Michelle's side. So therefore Jesse isn't going to like be best friends with him. And Jesse even said that. And the whole world understands and knows that. Like Aaron, by default, has to have Michelle's back. So even if she's a little wrong, she's never going to side with you. He's never going to side with you, Jesse. But it's about time for Luke to pop the question. And Nia to get Kristen to kind of the front of the boat because they want to do it like at the tip of the boat, little Titanic moment. Nia is saying she wants to take cute couple photos right when the sunset is going down. So they only have limited time. And Kristen needs to fix her makeup. She's saying how sweaty and hot she looks. And then she's sitting on Luke's bag that has the ring in it. They finally get out there and because Kristen has to go to the bathroom. So Luke quickly gets the ring. And then Danny and Nia take a couple pictures. And then it's Luke and Kristen's turn. And they take the couple pictures. And then Danny goes, oh, look, there's dolphins. And Kristen's like, where? And then Luke is getting the ring out of his pocket. He's getting on one knee. And Kristen turns around, sitting there, and she's like, what the F? And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And she's like, are you serious? And then like crying. Oh my God. It's just so nice. And he's like, baby, I love you so much. Will you be the catch of a lifetime? And I'm like, oh, Luke, look at you with the funny little fish relation to this. And just so happy for them. Just wonderful. And what a wonderful couple for them to share it with Danny and Nia, even though everyone wants to pretend like Danny's an alcoholic raging monster. Just the sweetest couple. So I'm so glad that it was a surprise that they did it, that Kristen didn't smell like armpits and looked cute for the proposal. Everything worked out. So Zach and Benji are moving everything out of the presidential suite. And then Jesse's there. And they're like, oh, well, I guess we have to tell you what's going on. Luke is literally proposing to Kristen right now. And Jesse's like, oh my God, no way. And he's like, let's call the downstairs and ask for this. I just recorded it because this is just proof how bougie Jesse is and 100% believe that he spent all him and Michelle's money.
Why don't we call the hotel and get 500 white roses and 500 hibiscus petals and put them all over the whole place? Wow. Can we get like 5,000 white flowers? Jesus Christ. I'm like, wow.
It's like, that's why you have no money. But I love the enthusiasm that Jesse has because him and Kristen have gotten really close and Luke. So he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart. And you know what? At the end of the day, he's probably like, Bravo's going to pick up this bill. We ain't paying for these rose petals. I found it weird. He wanted hibiscus petals, like no rose petals, and maybe get hibiscus flowers, but also just weird. So then Zach had to call Brittany and tell her that Luke and Kristen were out on the boat getting engaged so that they can all, wear the airbrush t-shirts and then they're going to go down and have like a little cocktail hour. So Jason overheard the call and he relayed the message to Michelle and Janet. And now Janet says she does not want to wear the t-shirt, celebrate Kristen and Luke. It would just be weird. And she calls Zach and she's like, I just don't know if like that makes sense since we just had that fight at that Mexican restaurant. And then he's like, oh, thank you. No, I agree. But like later for dinner, it's totally like open, like it's downstairs and it's not closed off. So other guests of the hotel will be like walking through. So it's not that weird if they go down. And a little, I guess, less intimate, but it's like, you need to go to something. If you don't want to wear the airbrush t-shirt, fine, but like come down and eat the dinner. Don't be that weird. And he's like, and I think if you come, it'll show initiative that you would like to like move forward and show that you're happy for them. Because if you don't show that you're happy for them, you ain't ever moving forward with her. And let me tell you right now, Janet, we're picking Kristen 100 times over, and as is the Bravo Network, over you because she's an OG and has our hearts, and you really don't. So she said she doesn't want to go to dinner. And then she's telling Zach on the phone that she'll see them tomorrow. And he's like, okay. As soon as they hang up the phone, she says to Brittany and Jason, yeah, we're not going to see anyone tomorrow. We'll just talk to everyone back in LA. I'm sorry. Bravo paid for you to be there to interact with these people. you can't just hide in your room the whole time and act like the trip is now just you and your husband doing what you want. And also, you're not going to even want to see people tomorrow, but think you're going to stay on this show? Why do you have to cause this problem on Kristen and Luke's engagement? I do understand. Kristen repeating the ring thing about Jason messed up. I would be mad too. But you know what? They already hashed it out. And she already basically said to Janet, I said that because you were mean to Danny and Nia, and I just wanted to be mean back to you. Like tit for tat. It's kind of like Kristen doesn't even believe it. She just wanted to be malicious. It's like when you call someone like a bitch, but they're your friend or your relative. And then you're like, I really don't mean it. I was just mad at you. I mean, we all say things we don't mean. Does it make it right? No, but it happens to everyone. And she said sorry. But Janet now wants to harp on this and ruin the rest of the trip. And Janet's like, the trip has now turned into like Luke and Kristen's engagement. So the trip isn't for us. And Jason goes, well, I took off of work, so the trip is about me. Janet, who cares if that's what the trip is about? I guess it would be okay when it was your baby moon and the trip was about you. And you, by the way, didn't invite Kristen and Zach and excluded them from that trip. And they are on this show. It's like she forbid them to like film almost. Do you know what I mean? It's like right now, you were all invited because you have to be, because it is a TV show at the end of the day. And now you think you're just not going to participate in the things you have to. No. If you don't want to do this one thing tonight, that's whatever. I think it's terrible. She's not going to dinner. I think it's really terrible. She thinks she's not even going to see and talk to everyone the rest of the trip. They just got there. They're probably there for like 4 days, wouldn't you think? I mean, at least. It's a long flight. I feel like they're not going to be there for a day and 2 days, And Jason was like, I don't like that you're telling everyone we're not going to see them and be for consulting me. That was the first time I honestly saw Jason get mad and annoyed with Janet. And I would get annoyed with her all the time. That poor man is married to her. And I can't imagine, because it's just like this. It's like little bratty behavior. And don't tell me what I'm going to do. Maybe you can hide up in this room, but I don't want to lose our job. And Janet better buckle down and suck it up. She doesn't have a job anymore. This is her job. This is her life. And I feel like that's why also she's acting this way. She has nothing else. She did just have a baby. But it's like Jason doesn't care that much because he is a lawyer. And we found out what type of lawyer he is. He is a injury lawyer where he defends the employer not giving money to the injured. So a lot of people are now ragging on Jason because that's the type of lawyer he is. Yeah, there's a lot of cases that people get screwed. But I will say I used to work at an orthopedic office. And when people wanted to get like workers' comp or say they were hurt or whatever, this little old man would be the doctor that decides if you're actually injured or not. And some people came in and were faking it. And you could tell because they were like overselling it. And then what he would do is peek out of his window through the blinds into the parking lot because the people, think, oh, I don't have to walk all limpy and injured anymore. One day he was like, see, look at this person. And this particular person was really laying on the sob story, really acting like they were about to be crippled and needed a wheelchair. They're just like skipping away in the parking lot, walking very fast, like jogging. And he's like, see, they're not injured. Look at that. I'm getting my notes. So it's a give and take. There are people that lie and there are people that get screwed and are really like, need it. But I don't really judge Jason because I feel like he's a better person than Janet. We need to just keep our eyes on Janet. And I'm going to tell you right now, the internet not loving Janet. So her profile or her Instagram is private, but I guess she accepted me a long time ago, or I followed her before it was private. So I can still see her Instagram. But if you are new and have not followed Janet before, it's private. So she'd have to accept you now. So you're probably not going to be able to. But They're in Switzerland right now with the baby. Very beautiful there. But she's definitely getting lots of heat because I feel like she should have just gone to dinner, sucked it up. Stand in the corner and talk to somebody else. You don't have to talk to Kristen and Luke. Your presence not being there is speaking volumes. Okay. You're the one that needs to get your to-go box. Bye. So Zach has the room all set up. Brittany is sad she wasn't included in this because of how close she is to Kristen. But I get it. You can't tell everyone. And on the after show, I did see this clip too. She was saying that she didn't understand why Danny and Nia were on the boat and she wasn't. Well, first of all, they're close with Danny and Nia. And I don't know. It's like, what, were you going to come on the boat by yourself with Danny, Nia, Luke, and Kristen? I mean, not to like shut Brittany out because she's single, but I don't know. It's just like, we don't need the whole group knowing. And Brittany probably would have told somebody. I love Brittany, but I think she would have been a little loose-lipped. And Luke said on the after show, he didn't want Brittany to know because of Jax. So I think it more meant if Brittany knew they were getting engaged, I really don't think she would have told Jax because like they're separated and living separately and she hates Jax and never wants to talk to him unless she has to. But I think Luke was scared, like, what if she did tell Jax and then Jax ruined it because he's a life ruiner and would tell everybody. So you can't get this mad. I think it's fine that Brittany said like one time, like, oh, I would have liked to be included because like I've known Kristen so long. Because I think out of everyone in this group, she's known Kristen the longest. So agreed. But let it go. She said it like 3 times on the show. It's like, okay, you weren't part of it. It's not about you. Like, sometimes it gets annoying when people make it so much about them. Like we all remember Danielle on Summerhouse when she was making Carl and Lindsay's engagement all about her. She went around the whole engagement party saying, oh my God, I can't believe they're engaged. It's like, shut up. No one cares after a while. Like we get it. You said it one time. You're going over to like every person at this party and saying it. And then you're wondering why you're not friends with Lindsay and Carl at the moment. Like, a little crazy. I had to take a little sip of my iced coffee. But then they all surprised Kristen and Luke with the shirts. I just personally think it's worse that Janet and Jason didn't come. It's so obvious now that she doesn't like Kristen. We see in the next preview, gonna get a little spicy, that Kristen is like yelling like, well, get off this boat then. It's my engagement trip, bitch. It's like, yeah, it is. You tell her, Kristen. I still have not watched Next Gen NYC. I have to catch up. Am I so bad? But it's because I like the housewife kids. I don't really care about everyone else. I don't know. I've been watching the Honestly Cavallari, and we've been trying to in and out watch like real TV shows too. I'm trying to give my husband a break. You know what I mean? Like he does sit there and get into it, but gotta mix it in. And I'm letting the girls stay up later now that it's summer. Like I told you, we've been watching Full House. Love it. We're almost done. And I'm like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, we can watch Fuller House because I have never even watched that. So I'm like, it'll be all new to me. But we're at the stage where DJ is like older and she's like dating that guy that's in Uncle Jesse's band, Viper. And I'm like, oh, everything's like getting interesting. And then Kimmy got drunk at a party. And my daughter goes, what's getting drunk mean? And I'm like, maybe we shouldn't watch this anymore. Full House is just so good for life lessons. Like I feel like she's 7, so I don't have to worry about her getting drunk at a party. Maybe we'll watch that episode again when she's in high school. But they just don't make shows like that are teaching kids lessons. Like it's like conflict and resolution. Some of these shows on TV, it's just like acting goofy and there's nothing the whole time. You know, there's no like responsibility or like right and wrong. And I love watching Full House because who gets sick of shows like that? All the shows were better back in our day. We watched the Lizzie McGuire movie the other week. We watched Passport to Paris. All those movies are just timeless. I mean, not only is the 90s clothing back in style, but I feel like all the movies and shows are. It's just like, because they're not making TV like that anymore. So the millennials, yes, we are clinging on to that because we were like the last good, wholesome group, I feel like. All that Disney Channel TV shows. Oh, remember Boy Meets World? That was another really good one. And like you can watch that stuff as an adult and it's still good, but like taught you life lessons as a child. Honestly, Cavallari watched the Craig and Austin episode. Woo, love it. Love it. Like, and then at the end, Craig and Austin are like, we need to de-mic. He's like, yeah, that was the worst decision of my life. It's like, you know that she's going to poke a little bit, get a little gossipy. Like, that's the whole point. I feel like people, when they agreed to come on, they were like, oh my God, I can't believe she's talking about this. It's like, duh, don't you listen to her podcast? And it's on TV. We got to be juicy. Hello. She was on Laguna Beach in the hills. That was drama, drama, drama. Like, made up, but still drama and causing waves. So the Craig and Austin episode was when Craig was broken up with Paige, but he did have that girlfriend, Natalie. Now, current day, he doesn't have that girlfriend, Natalie, because Justin came out on stage and we're like, it was like a truth or dare. And he's like, I dare you to kiss Kristen on the lips. And then he's like, I would, but I'm talking to people on Rye and one's like more than just talking. So that's when he was dating Natalie. And I wish that they kissed on the lips. I would have loved to see that little drama. But now Kristen is gone on the podcast and she said that there was overlapping with her and Paige. And as soon as she found out that Paige and him were like serious, like boyfriend, girlfriend, or starting to date, she bowed out. She's like, I don't need the love triangle. Because I think also like Kristen wasn't like going to be boyfriend, girlfriend serious with Craig. So she's probably like, I'm not going to have some battle royale with Paige. Paige liked the video that Kristen posted. And I think that's what Paige was talking about. Where was that clip for the season? I never watched the secrets revealed or the scenes that were cut from Summerhouse. I got to watch that because that's all I want to see. Paige elaborating on that they used in the trailer, that then you don't give it to us for the whole season. Shame on you. Bravo. When she's like, I caught you texting 2 bitches at the course of our relationship. So I think one is Kristen, and that's probably at the beginning. And I'd like to know who the other one is. And I think Paige is very mature and takes the high road about this. She's not on her podcast bad-mouthing Craig and throwing him under the bus and talking about all this stuff, but I need a tell-all and I want details. And do we all think he used ChatGPT for the ring? Because I do. Because he was on a podcast the other week. Finally, all of a sudden, he's showing pictures of the ring. He's like, this is my nightstand in Charleston. See the timestamp and it says location Charleston. You could ChatGPT that. And let me tell you right now, I'm late to the game with ChatGPT, but I did like 4 portraits of our dog last night on ChatGPT. Cutest thing I've ever seen. It looks just like him. I just put into it, I was like, portrait, Italian wall art of my dog cooking pizza. And then I did one of cooking Italian food. And we got a cute little photo of Frankie putting pepperoni on a pizza. And then we got another one of him stirring spaghetti pot. Just the cutest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I'm going to have them framed and put them in the kitchen. I mean, this is just so cute. I can't wait to do ones with the girls with him. These are ChatGPT is just going to be in all my picture frames around the house, honestly, because it's just the cutest things I've ever seen. I did a watercolor, almost like painting of our dog and our neighbor's dog because they're like BFF for L and hang out every day because he's a Labradoodle and ours is a Golden Doodle. And it's just the cutest thing. And I want to like print it out and give it to our neighbor and be like, look at the best friends in this ChatGPT portrait, this painting portrait that I did on ChatGPT. But Craigie, love you because you did just start following me on TikTok, so I can't rag on you too much, but why did it take you so long to show us the picture of the ring? And I want the receipt. I want the receipt. That's more proof. And I think you should have just done it right from the get-go. That's when I know people aren't lying. When you come right away and go, oh yeah, you want to see a picture of the ring? Bam, bam, there it is. And I'd like to know why he held on to it so long. So in his interview, he said it's because he thought, like Paige wasn't ready, but then it's like, well, then why'd you ever buy it? And like, what'd you get for it when you returned it? If all of this is true. Because we do know Craig can be a storyteller. Love you, Craigie. But I'm just a little confused why it took so long for the picture. And I want you like holding it. It's just like on a nightstand. Like, let's get you holding it in the store with the receipt, you know? Like, I don't know. I hope everyone has a really good 4th of July. Summerhouse is starting to film. So hopefully we'll get some like behind the scenes little videos. See, they're not allowed to like post anything until we start watching it. So it's like a whole year goes by. So it's like, I don't care about looking at that picture of you from last year. Like, I want to see right now. I want to see Lindsay in the Hamptons with a baby, single. That could be a whole show on itself. Single in the Hamptons with a baby. I mean, what if her and Carl hook up? Like, she gets a little tipsy. But see, he doesn't drink, so I don't think that would ever happen. I don't think they'll ever go back to that. But I hope for this season that they can be more friendly. They were pretty good last season, all considering. I mean, Sierra was more mad at Wes than Lindsay was mad at Carl. But I'd like to see it be a little more friendly, and maybe it will be because more time has passed. I don't know. I hope she's still just as pleasant as she was this past season because her pregnant was just wonderful. Wondering if Jesse's going to hook up with any new people. If there's a new girl, he probably learned his lesson and he won't shit where he eats. He will probably hook up with anybody but someone in that house. And like I said, I wish we were getting a single Paige for one summer. I don't think she'll even make a pop-in visit because that's just my opinion. I don't think Paige is like a go back to something either. So I'm sad we won't see her single. I don't know. Amanda even said this week on a podcast, like, me and Sierra will try our best with the banter because Amanda's really quiet, which is why I feel like her and Kyle do balance each other out, because if she was just like Kyle, I think it'd be an explosion. But the banter with the girls, it's not going to be the same. Like, Amanda's very quiet and Sierra can be quiet too. So now that we don't have Paige saying the funny stuff, like, we still got Lindsay. So maybe they'll get closer with Lindsay. I don't know. I wonder if Gabby will come back. Like, honestly, no one cares if you come back. I'm sorry to be mean. No one cares though. So I think we're getting a new guy. I saw a picture. He looked cute. But I wonder if we will get another girl since Paige and Lexi left. And I'm sure we'll get pop-ins from Danielle. You know, she's the opposite of Paige. Like, she was fired and she'll come back all the time. Because I do, in my heart of hearts, believe she was fired. I don't think she quit because she comes back so much. And she really has nothing else going on. Even though she's a CEO and founder, she makes time to pop in at Summerhouse. But I hope everyone is having an amazing summer, an amazing 4th of July weekend. How fun that it's on a Friday. So everyone have fun, be safe, have a nice cocktail, get a nice suntan. Don't forget the suntan lotion because we don't want to be burnt. We don't want to have skin cancer. And everyone keep an eye out. I'm going to start doing my posts and advertising it. But July 22nd, mark your calendars. If you are in my area, I'm hosting my first watch party at the Post in Trolley Square. We're going to watch part 1 of the Valley reunion. I'm going to have fun Valley bingo for us. We'll do the drinking bingo. I got fun raffle baskets. We got my hair salon, my ejector. We got an anthropology basket we're going to do. I'm going to think of a couple other things, but we're going to do some cute drink specials. So I would love the support. I would love to have fun with you guys. It'll be a really fun time. So July 22nd. And I will do a start time TBD because I don't want it to start right when the show starts. Maybe we'll do it like a half hour before so I can, like, everyone gets a chance to like get some food, get drink. I mean, I'll probably be there even earlier than that. So I will start posting and advertising that though, because I can't wait. I'm so excited. So July 22nd. And then as always, you can find me on Instagram at Bravo T with a stay-at-home mom. I am on TikTok, guys. I'm trying to get the old TikTok back. They finally are answering me like every day. Like, thank God. It's not working. The recovery method they're giving me at all, I don't understand. So there's 1% chance I'm ever going to log into my old TikTok. So you guys just got to pile in and find the new one. And at least I got Craig Conover. Shout out. Got my one Bravo Leb following me. I just had so many of you on the old one. So please find me on TikTok again. You found me once. You can find me twice. Let's not make it a third time. I'm going to have like facial recognition to log into this TikTok, honestly. So no one can ever hack into it again. But follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts. And everybody enjoy.